Hello, family, kings and queens, princes and princesses. Today's episode is called What Is? Let's start off today by talking about melanated. What is melanated? The noun says something with accentuated skin pigment or one that displays heavy melanin content. The perfect tense verb for something to become saturated with skin pigment or melanin. That's the first definition of melanated. It is also stated that the first humans are Homo sapiens that were dark skinned, 1.2 million or less than 100,000 years ago. They were the first humans, Homo sapiens. Interesting fact, right? Also, African and Indian skin had the highest, hear me, the highest total amount of melanin in the epidermis with no significant difference between them. Which, if you think about that statement, Indians known today have more of a red skin. Think about that. So, something else I want to talk about today is what is white privilege? It is known as the set of social and economic advantages that white people have by virtue of their race in a culture characterized by racial inequality. But also, what is black privilege? There was no definition found. It isn't even in the dictionary. So there's no such thing as black privilege. But of course, there is a such thing as white privilege. We see it each and every day of our lives, kings and queens. So don't be fooled. There is a such thing as white privilege, and there's no such thing as black privilege. So then we go and we look at a thing such as what is racism? Racism is the systematic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic, and political advantages of another, specifically white supremacy. But then you got to look at prejudice. Prejudice is an irrational attitude of hostility directed against an individual, a group, a race, or their supposed characteristics. So you'll hear people tell people that they're racist. Well, I cannot be racist against you if I cannot cause any oppression against you in a social, economic, or political means. If I cannot cause any of that advantage against you to cause you to be disadvantaged against. But I can, in all aspects, be prejudiced against you because I have some sort of hostility against you in regards to you as a person, against your particular group, your particular race, or some sort of characteristics. So when you're telling someone that they're a racist, you got to make sure that you're using that in a proper form. So we, as melanated people, we can't be racist unless we can hinder you in some sort of way. Now, you can probably call someone that is famous or a president, if he were melanated, racist, because he could affect your financial means. They can affect your financial means. But an ordinary person that works with you or lives next to you, they can't be racist against you because they cannot hinder you financially in any type of way. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have those particular definitions for yourself. Please feel free to listen to this over and over and over again to get the actual definitions of those particular terms. So, let's talk about the rioting in Washington. Now, keep in mind that these are our opinions here at Melanated Divination. It really appalled me that people would ask the opinions of people and really didn't want to hear them about that whole situation of the rioting. I look at it as we melanated people have been gunned down in the streets a lot recently, and some people were merely fighting for their life, fighting for what they believed in, and some weren't even fighting for whatever reason. They were just gunned down in the streets. I'm not going to put out any names because those names have been in the media a lot. But no one, and I mean absolutely no one, should ever, and I mean ever, lose their life senselessly. But as I watched the TV over these last few days about this rioting, I saw police just opening barricades. And what seemed to amaze me is how they came up with the reasoning behind them opening these barricades. And their reasoning was, oh, they were trying to de-escalate. I'm like, huh? De-escalate? What are you talking about? In no shape, form, or fashion, in my opinion, were they de-escalating. That's like saying, oh, I'm going to open up the bank vaults and wait for help to come. Do you not think that by opening it up, people are not going to just go get money? For real? That don't even make no sense. It didn't then. It doesn't as I'm recording this, and it never will. Because help should have been there before you even opened it up. That way you would not have had to open it up. You had very angry people that you allowed to just go in. That building was no more protected than any other building when you opened up basically the floodgates. That's no different than you opening up, waters of the Mississippi River because you were hoping that a little bitty hole wouldn't let it flow in. For real? Come on, people, think. You just thought because they were Caucasian that if you opened it up, they would calm down a little bit, and they didn't. They just went on in there and just went even more crazy. So, in my opinion, unfortunately, I hate that several people lost their lives, which we really, to this day, have only heard of one because she was a person that served in the military. Okay, and she still was doing something wrong. I, feel bad for her family because they lost their loved one. But no one cared that several people of the melanation descent have lost their lives. But for me, I'm sorry that she lost her life. I'm sorry that the other 3 people have lost their lives. But having said all that, those people in that Capitol, you're sitting up there looking down on people, thinking that nothing can't happen and that you can't be touched. You have to remember that these are human beings. They have emotions, they have feelings, and when it is incited that they should march on something such as the current president, as I record this, he incited this. He's been inciting this. What did you guys think was going to happen? Look at it from ordinary people's thoughts, concerns, and process it. Truly process it. And unfortunately, the media does not help in any shape, form, or fashion. They spin it to make things way worse than it is. They spin it to make other people look worse and worse and worse. And even funnier, these people were putting up the Confederate flag. But wait a minute. Not too long ago, didn't y'all take their flags from them? Because y'all didn't want melanated people to be insulted. But we're like, let them keep their flags so we can see who they are. Because they were racist. Do you hear me? They were racist. And by having their flags, we see them out in the open. But by y'all supposedly taking them, y'all just letting them be undercover. Racist. But they were putting those up in y'all's Capitol. And having said that, y'all are billionaires holding back money, only trying to give the American people $600. But I bet you each and every one of y'all got that $600 too. When y'all really didn't need it because y'all millionaires. Sad fact. Sad, sad fact. I'm just saying. But on that note, I'm over that. Let's move on to something different and something more encouraging. But let's take a brief commercial break. If you know of any melanated ran businesses that you would like us to visit and give a shout out on our channel, please feel free to send us an email. Our email address is melanateddivas@gmail.com. That's melanated, melanated@gmail.com. We'll be happy to go visit those places of business and give them a shout out. Again, if you know of any melanated businesses, we would be happy to go and visit them and give them a shout out on Melanated Diva Nation. All right, family. As you all know, we are in the year of 2021. 2020 was a year to be reckoned with. But what I want you to know is God was still in the blessing business. No matter what you believe in or not believe in, you have to remember that you made it through. You made it through some hard times, you made it through some good times, but you made it through. So I want you to know that we do here at Melanated Diva Nation wish you a happy 2021. Now, let's talk about this vaccination. Does that give you a little pause? Maybe. Will you be getting it? Maybe. Will you not be getting it? Maybe. There's a whole lot to be reckoned with out there in regards to this new vaccination. Now I think they have 3 or 4, and Some people want to get it, some people don't want to get it. Well, it's all on you as an individual. But what I want to say in regards to it is I don't want you to get it or not get it in regards to fear. Because God did not give us a spirit of fear. Because nothing you do or say is going to cause you to get it if God doesn't want you to get it. And God will not give you something if he can't bring you through it. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go, with or without this virus. And again, that is our opinion here at Diva Nation. So I just want each and every one of you to remember, when you're making that decision for you and your family, to remember to make the decision based on the informed information. Do not do it out of fear. Now, moving on to a much lighter note. Let's just talk about some football. I do love me some football. However, our Denver Broncos ended the season with 5 wins and 11. Oh, that pains me to say, 11 losses. Oh, how I do hope they make a whole lot of changes. One of those changes, I hear that John Elway is going to be stepping down to a more consultant role in the Bronco camp. So that is going to be interesting, wouldn't you say? You know, things have not been the same since Mr. Bolin passed on. But hopefully our Broncos could at least get back to being a much better team, at least a team worth watching. I couldn't even watch this season. So I'm quite disappointed in the team this year, but I am still, for better lack of the word, a Bronco fan. I didn't even wear much gear this year. I was that disappointed. But let's just say better luck this year. Don't really watch much basketball, but maybe I'm going to have to take that on since my football team just really let me down. On that note, I just want each and every one of my kings and queens out there to know that we have to do better, strive for better, and lift one another up. This is just as much our world as it is any other race's world. We have to come together in order to make that known. But we have to do things decent and in order. One of the reasons why I started this channel is because, again, without one another, we cannot succeed, we cannot be. But this is not to say that all the other nationalities out there are less than. And I hope that they can recognize each and every one of us as more than what they have been recognizing us as. This is not to tear them down in any way, but this is to show us that if we want something, we have to go after it. I hope, in fact, that you will not only subscribe, but that you will send this on to your friends and family just to show some support. And if there's something that you'd like us to talk about here, or something that you want to know about, we will definitely go out and research it and talk about it. I mean, our young folks need to know that if they have a dream, they can go out and find it, build on it, and go after it because it's out there for them. It's out there for our children, our children's children, our children's children's children. If you want it, you go out there and get it. But you have to do it the right way. That way no one can take it from you. God will give you your heart's desire if you really want it. So, having said that, anything negative has as much power as you allow it. You get what you allow. And again, these are our opinions here at Melanated Divination. Please feel free to drop us a line, a comment, a suggestion at Melanated Divination. That's MELANATEDIVAS at gmail.com. Until next time, remember, these are just our comments. Any contentment or rage that you may feel could be because your situation isn't what you want it to be. Therefore, remember that your words towards us here at Melanated Divination shouldn't be so severe. We are all family, and again, these are our opinions. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you join us next time.